hey, what do you want to do for a living? Do you want to break the law legally? And I was like, that sounds really cool. We have literally 0 tier 1 and tier 2 SOC analysts, and we are responding to events out of our SIM in machine time.
For a year now, we've been in panels talking about if we get rid of tier 1 SOC analysts, how do we get tier 2?
This is a AI on AI battle, and this is what we're preparing the industry for. So while you have to change, this is going to be the way of the future.
I talk to startups every single week, and the things that they're doing and innovating are amazing that 6 months ago that we would have thought wouldn't even be possible. And it's almost like living in the future.
The goal was, hey, look, we want to make a judgment about if this is successful in 6 months. So from that, we then started to execute a plan that would prove that we could deliver outcomes in 3 months. So we basically cut it in half.
Is being able to go in authentically and honestly. We're not selling. We're just talking about our experience. And that to me is one of the most powerful interactions you could have in our industry. Just to defend your companies against agents, you have to use agents.
Right.
And 7AI is right on the forefront.
Hi, welcome back to Cooking with CISOs. My name is Rick Doten. I'll be your host today. I'm a former CISO and current advisor and AI researcher. And I'm here with Mike and Alan. Guys, you want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, you first off.
Sure. I'm Al Lieberman. I'm the Chief Product Officer of 7AI.
And I'm Mike Baker. I'm the Global Chief Information Security Officer for DXC Technology.
Great. So what are we cooking today, guys?
Well, I'm going to cook hamburgers, right? So it's a family favorite. It's getting warmer in Virginia. I live right outside Washington, D.C. And, the thing that we think about on Friday is getting out on the grill, cooking some burgers. So I'm excited to do that.
Terrific tonight. What about you?
We're going to cook a pepper steak. So this is one of my favorite recipes. It's from a restaurant that I love in Longboat Key called Euphemia Hay. So we're going to try to duplicate that. And at the end, my favorite part, we get to flambe it.
Great.
Which means light it on fire in front and scream.
Yeah, I see the brandy, so I see that's what we're going to do. So I'm comfortable with the process. Like, how can I help? I actually almost went to chef school, and so I cook all the time. So I'm just going to assist in any way possible. So you look like you're going to start doing some cutting. You're going to start starting the
forming some paddings.
Let's go ahead and go.
Okay.
So how did we get into working together? First, I guess describe what you guys do to the audience.
For sure. So 7AI is a agentic-security operations company. We help customers like DXC help perform investigations, help improve detection, and automate response.
That's great.
And from a DXC standpoint, when we looked early on how we can use AI to best protect our company, we said the Security Operations Center is going to be the best place to start. And luckily, we found 7AI.
Many people are asking me what 7AI is doing. The easiest way to explain it, I have many conversations with CISO like the one that you just had. And all of those people, great people, they know what they want their team to do. And they know where they are in the maturity level and where they want to take the team and how they want to evolve their security practice and program. The problem is when you zoom in and really understand what their team is doing, what you realize that the team is very busy with toil, boring work that it's very, very necessary for security. We enable them to split the work between the human work and the non-human work, and moving their maturity level from low to medium to a high maturity level by pushing the team up to do the more important things that need to be done in security, and let the AI do all the toil, boring, and repeatable job that need to be done, but it's very important job. By splitting the work between human and non-human, we enable team to evolve in a very fast cadence. Thank you for watching this episode.
We have literally 0 tier 1 and tier 2 SOC analysts, and we are responding to events out of our SIM in machine time. We were an early customer of 7AI, and we've had some incredible results, right? When we looked early on how we can use AI to best protect our company, we said the Security Operations Center is going to be the best place to start. And luckily, we found 7AI. We're able to become an early customer, grow with them, And right now we have a fully agentic SOC at DXC, which is protecting us from our adversaries who are moving to AI as we speak. We've been able to, over the last couple of months, through a lot of transformation, get to that point where we have literally 0 tier 1 and tier 2 SOC analysts. And we are responding to events out of our SIM in machine time, which was the goal all along. And we're excited to get there. We got there a couple months ago.
Yeah, and I think DXC represents now the world's largest published agentic SOC deployment. It's been a journey together, and it's been exciting to do this together.
And how has it been for you in getting compliance and any regulatory things about having this agentic? Where's the accountability?
The biggest thing that CISOs need to remember is that this is going to be a cultural journey.
Absolutely.
With your teams. The technology is great, but you have to work with your teams to really embrace a new way of thinking, particularly around security operations. And giving over to agents, the reality is it's going to do it faster. It's likely going to do it more effective because the analysts aren't as tired. It can work 24 hours a day.
Right.
But on the human front, you really need to shepherd your team along and show leadership there to get to those outcomes.
And it's kind of transforming how roles are.
That's the best part, right? We've been saying forever that we have a talent gap or we don't have enough people.
Yep.
And now we have the opportunity to take valuable human hours and transform their careers. So we don't have a tier 1 or tier 2 SOC analyst anymore. We have more threat intelligence analysts.
Yep.
We have more threat hunters. We have people who are AI native now taking 7AI to our customers. We're enriching people's lives, enriching their careers, and making our organization safer.
A lot of your staff are doing more threat hunting, probably detection engineering and those things that would have become the bottlenecks because now the operations process has been streamlined.
Well, we've seen in the wild that our adversaries are using agentic technologies to automate attacks at scale. We saw that in November in the Anthropic report. We're seeing it live. There's all these great things. We're upskilling our humans. We're getting faster, we're getting more effective. But in the end, it is a necessity, right? And I think that necessity existed last summer. We didn't really know it, but right now it is undeniable. But this is the way it's always been done, which are my least favorite words in this industry.
For a year now, we've been in panels talking about if we get rid of tier 1 SOC analysts, how do we get tier 2? But it looks like this resolved itself naturally.
So we're 80% faster in the time it takes to actually acknowledge that a ticket comes out of your SIEM. And then the time it takes to triage a ticket. So you acknowledge, and then you actually do all the investigation at the tier 1 level, you API to the tools, you make an initial determination, and you document the entire ticket. We're 70% faster right now than the human. We have less false positives or false negatives. So faster, better, and also great opportunity to reskill the human.
What we're seeing is not only faster response time, not only more consistent investigations in particular, we're seeing full-on mean time to respond metrics come down, and we're seeing organizations be able to spend time on higher level tasks versus just investigations. And we're doing it incredibly transparently so that you could go back and audit the investigations as well.
Are you still having the humans declare the incident and categorize the incident? Or is that something that's now you're automating part of that?
So the initial triage is done by 7AI. And you essentially say it's benign, it's escalated, or maybe somewhere in between. That requires a review. Once we do that, we do have some people doing continuous validation. We're always going to have some human in the loop, but we're seeing it go down.
One of the keys to the deployment has really been the collaboration of AI and people.
Right.
Both on the DXC side as well as on the 7AI side. So we didn't hand DXC the solution and say, hey, go make it work. Rather, we had teams on both sides continuously coaching the application as well as integrating with all of DXC's technologies. You can imagine it's a very complex environment. So having people really help lead the AI has really been transformative in terms of making it work at such a scale.
So you want to know how secret and burgers is now? Particularly,
Give me the secret and burger.
put a little thumbprint in there.
Yeah.
Right? Just like that. Now, once you put the thumbprint, then you put the Worcestershire. Yep. And it'll soak all into that thing, and it won't blow up and be like a balloon. As a security leader, we have to lead from the front and say, this is going to be the future, and it's going to be uncomfortable. How do you manage change? But it's our job to lead them through change, right? And it's been the best part about this whole journey is really leading through that change and seeing the aha moment on the other end.
Evolving and maturing and accept it.
Well, you think about, the human anxiety associated with it. And it's not just even human anxiety, it's also, this is the way it's always been done, which are my least favorite words in this industry. Yeah, we do it this way because this is the way it's always been done.
The security people, that's the last thing we want. Yeah.
Change is constant. This era, change is fast.
This is inevitable. This is a AI on AI battle, and this is what we're preparing the industry for.
We met in June of last year. Yeah, right? So not even a year.
Yep.
And it feels in AI years that this has been 10 years.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And we're constantly looking at the market every couple of weeks on what's going on for different disruptive technologies like 7AI. If we wait, you're gonna be left behind.
I talk to startups every single week, and the things that they're doing and innovating are amazing that 6 months ago that we would have thought wouldn't even be possible. And it's almost like living in the future. I use the William Gibson quote, the science fiction author who actually invented the word cyberspace, as he had said, the future is here, it's just not evenly distributed. And so you are really mature and doing this where 99% of your peers are thinking this is science fiction.
The rate of change is so crazy. I get up every day going, oh my gosh, I don't want to be left behind.
The most common comp that we get in terms of change is the change in the transformation that was from on-prem to cloud, right? But now in the agentic era, what we're seeing is that happening far more accelerated. And then the other thing that we're hearing from customers is they know this is inevitable. This is a AI on AI battle, and this is what we're preparing the industry for. This is going to be the way of the future.
Yeah. So what you're doing here is you have a stack of pepper. You're going to start, are you going to add the salt to the pepper? Or are you going to add
Salt to the steak.
Salt to the steak.
You sort of base it in that, and then to make it a pepper steak, you basically push the steak into the peppers prior to going ahead and actually cooking.
Okay, so you got a lot of
oil, right? Okay.
Yeah, we got a lot of oil. It's going to get smoky in here.
Okay.
All right, but that's okay. This is part of the fun. Then put the steak right on in. Just going to pepper up.
Yep.
Get a good crust on there.
Gotta catch up. You're really trying to make the whole thing just a pepper encrusted
Right.
That's it.
So, Alex, so the cloud example is funny, right? We had years, right, to make that case. And it was always cyber was the party I know. You kind of leaned into it over time, and it became a little bit of a business imperative moving into 16, 17, 18, right? But we're talking 2-3 years. In the AI era, we're talking 2 or 3 months. Everyone knows you want to leverage AI to transform your business. I know for a fact that there's this point in history, you have the most pressure from a business standpoint, and you have the biggest technology disruption. So for a CISO, you must be the party of let's get going.
Right. A lot of our peers are getting pushed by the board to do something, and oftentimes without a defined strategy. We have to kind of come up with our strategy and say, this is how we're going to get into it, learn from it, and then we can start using this example for propagating throughout the organization.
So let's be clear, I'm not the easiest customer.
Yeah, Mike, are you cooking today or are you just preparing today? What is happening?
So we're going to turn on. The first thing we're going to do is toast the butter.
All right, very good.
Right.
But we do need butter.
Okay, and I'm going to take mine off because she's coming to temperature.
Let the steak rest.
It could be my sous chef.
And then
turn that off.
if we're walking the floor and we're trying to decipher what's real and what isn't within AI, there's a few things. Like Mike said earlier, bent a little bit on when the company was born in terms of how native the technology is. And then the other thing that we really look for is, tell me about your customer wins. Tell me about the customer references that you have. Tell me about enterprise class deployments that have really driven the objectives of what you're trying to accomplish leveraging AI, right? So the technology is one thing, but driving to those outcomes and having organizations be able to tell you those stories, be able to prove it, and be able to do it with a customer that can really articulate what they've done together. So that's really what you're looking for. You're really looking to drive into what's the outcome that this organization has delivered. So for us, for 7AI, our sort of heart and soul is a partnership mentality. We believe very much in working with customers, trying to figure out what's the change that you're trying to invoke within your organization, and then creating a plan to go from just starting out to actually implementing the technology. Within DXC, I thought it was interesting in the very early days, the goal was to make a judgment about if this is successful in 6 months. So from that, we started to execute a plan that would prove that we could deliver outcomes in 3 months. So we basically cut it in half. And then we started to execute together. And DXC is a very large organization. So we had to work together with their internal team, with our team, and start to make incremental wins as we work together to get the technology working to the point that Mike could deliver the results that he was looking to deliver to the business.
So let's be clear, I'm not the easiest customer either. So I think like holding your partners to a high standard, right?
Yeah.
You know, we talked about what partnership looked like early on. And whatever it took, you guys were there to lead the team through the change, take our feedback, and quite frankly, challenge us at times where I think our thinking wasn't, maybe as forward as it should be.
Yeah, well, it's a partnership, all right? And that's what it came down to. And so when we deployed people to make the partnership successful. I'm actually going to add some brandy, then the steak back on. Accelerator flambe this.
Do we have fire extinguishers? Was hired right out of school in the early 2000s as a penetration tester. Do you want to, kind of break the law legally? I was like, that sounds really cool.
Have you flambéed before?
Never.
So brandy's in, maybe a little much, and then you flambe it. Now, you have space. You might want to, okay. There we go. Now we got a little bit of guy. Nice. All right, pretty good. Very well, fire. Yeah, isn't that pretty? So with the steak sauce, and then the secret ingredient over here, Mike, is orangey. Orange? Yeah.
Yeah, add aptitude.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like a mimosa steak pretzel.
Great. Like a mimosa steak bread. There you go.
Yeah.
So what got you into cybersecurity? Because we all have like our origin story.
Interestingly enough, went to school and was hired right out of school in the early 2000s as a penetration tester.
Yep.
And so when you're coming out of school and they go, hey, what do you want to do for a living? Do you want to, kind of break the law legally? And I was like, that sounds really cool. So like I felt like starting my career there was amazing just because I was able to get in those rooms, have those conversations. I think there's a superpower to a certain degree of coming up kind of to be a CISO on that track.
I came up almost like an opposite track.
Yeah.
Like basically coming up in through almost like the business side. And then one of my first jobs in cyber, the company I worked for was a victim of a nation state threat actor attack. And there you were able to see why cybersecurity really matters, what the implications are of a breach, and what that scenario actually looks like to an organization, to our customers, to us, and to the victims. Yeah, and having that sort of like culture just bred into us in terms of how important cyber actually is, and then being on the defender side and being in the cybersecurity community where our competitors at the time lent in to help us in the response. So you start to see, okay, this really what we're doing, it matters. And the community is really what sort of makes it all work together.
And I think the biggest thing for me was I focused on relationships.
Yes.
Right. So, I kind of prided myself on forming relationships in a naturally adversarial setting. When I decided to make the jump, I made some calls and just miraculously had an opportunity to move to a U.S. defense contractor as one of their business unit CISOs in 2015. And here we stand, almost 11 years later.
I think the interesting thing about your role too is you're not only sort of the CISO of DXC internal, but DXC has the service that also is security advisory across the board.
Right.
And your influence and DXC's influence into the larger market is pretty impressive.
We're not selling. We're just talking about our experience. And that to me is one of the most powerful interactions great have in our industry. Well, I mean, like that's the importance of the 7AI story to me. Like my number one goal is to protect our company as best we possibly can, to manage cyber risk on behalf of the business. And using 7AI's technology, I've been able to do that in our detect space, right? But equally as important is how can I be an example for our customers, right? To make sure that they're leaning in and we show them the way, that we're that customer zero or we're that spotlight. Because for me to go into our customers and say, you really got to try this technology, the first thing they're going to say is, well, did you do it? Or do you eat your own dog food? That's right. Or your own burgers, right? Yeah. And that's something I think together we're incredibly proud of, right? Yeah, is being able to go in authentically and honestly. We're not selling. We're just talking about our experience. And that to me is one of the most powerful interactions great have in our industry.
So we reduce the sauce. We're ready to go. So the sauce goes on the plate, sometimes garnished. But for right now, we'll just put it on the plate and they'll be ready to go.
Yeah, burgers are now rested and we can.
Yeah, so we can put them on. Don't know if this is going to be the right breakfast meal, but we'll be fine. Let's take 2 of these out. Yeah, let's do those 2. Boom. You got to put the crunch on. That's for sure. So we'll do that. And then look, Alan, I'm going to hold this up. It's going to be,
That looks great, man.
it's almost a model burger.
Look at that.
So you got jalapenos, onions, tomatoes, beautiful patty, crisp iceberg lettuce, and burger sauce.
So now we're just finishing off here the pepper steak with the sauce that we made in the pan. Usually just goes right on the plate. And the sauce is powerful. This is a potent meal.
Okay, I want to try.
So
Potent.
it's usually best with like a strong cab.
Right.
That's how I really like it.
Okay. All right. So now we have our both the potent sauce
Fork me, Mike.
and the burger, and we will now get a taste. We all have a fork, and so let's see. It looks really red. Let's try. Hold it on heat.
Taste first.
Steak first.
Oh yeah,
Very good. Yeah. Very potent.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got some
The pepper comes through.
It sure does.
I love it.
Taste the
this
egg sauce.
I'm gonna need this recipe, Alan. This is good.
And now with a cab. Oh yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
All right, don't tease me with that one.
Now let's give the burger a try
Good enough. Okay, I'm going burger.
with jalapenos and yum yum sauce on it.
Do it. Yum yum sauce, jalapenos, tomatoes.
Delicious, Mikey.
Absolutely.
Cooking with CISOs, baby.
Great. Well, thank you very much for joining us Cooking with CISOs, and we'll see you next time.